KLOS. It is 12 midnight, time for the local music show. Good evening. The local music show is being brought to you by Hanich Music in West Covina. If you'd like your band to be heard in the program, you can send in your records or tapes and your bios directly to us here at KLOS or drop them off at Hanich Music. Of course, there's no purchase necessary there. This is Joe Benson. Our producer tonight is Mark Felsot. We're going to be looking at several bands, including the Radials from Santa Monica, Robert Bruce Bowen of Orange, and we have interviews and an in-depth look to the new Mötley Crüe album coming up right after this. Well, good evening. This is Joe Benson. We're here tonight with Mötley Crüe all over the studio. Welcome to the place, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Vince, and Nikki, and Mick with us right now. Tommy's in transit, I guess, huh?
Yeah, you could say that.
Lost on the freeway.
He isn't tied up. He'd like to be, but he's on his way.
We haven't seen him since last night, so I don't know.
You haven't?
No.
Maybe there is something behind this. Well, you guys have created quite a name for yourself here. You got quite a reputation going. And you've been together how long?
About 10 months.
10 months. You knew each other before you actually got together as a band, didn't you?
Well, me and Tommy went to high school together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in rival high school bands all through it. So.
You were in a band before Mötley Crüe. There was one or two other bands that had a reputation going somewhat. One of them was named London. Is this right?
That was my
Nicky's
band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were together for about 2.5, 3 years.
So how did Mötley Crüe happen together then? Was London coming to an end? Or?
London was coming to an end. I left, and I had met Tommy through another friend of mine, and we had got together and just played just as bass. I'd showed him some of my songs, and he liked them, said he'd look forward to putting a band together. We found Mick in the paper. There I was, splattered all over the front page. And we found him at the Starwood in his old band called Brock Candy singing on stage, and that's how it all got started.
Actually, I had joined the band April Fool's Day. So I don't know about that. I was looking back in my little diary on us.
Sweet.
Nikki, you'd written quite a bit of material going into this then.
Yeah, I'd been writing a lot of this music during London, and as a matter of fact, one of the songs was from that era, but I was writing it for myself, saving it, realizing it wasn't going to last forever, you know. And then I had quite a repertoire built up, so when we got together, we had ourselves about 10 or 11 songs to start off with right away.
That was before you even went out and played.
Yeah, so we didn't have to spend the time really writing all the songs and that whole ordeal of, you know, getting that together, experimenting with that.
What was the first thing, Vince, that caught your eye when they approached you about joining the band?
Oh, I'd known Tommy before, but he sure looked different. You know? I go, boy, have you changed.
Something to do with nice.
And then I saw Mick approached me in the bathroom.
Wait a minute. You want to cut that out?
No. So anyways, Mick came up to me and he goes, and he told me that I like you a lot, you know. So they called me up the next day and asked me for an audition, and I told them I'd be there,
but I never showed
up. So they got another singer. So then my band was I was happy with it then, and then they started falling apart, and I was going, oh man, you should have just went for the opportunity. So luckily Nikki called me back, and they gave me another shot at it, and I went down there, and boy was I nervous because Alan was sitting there. And they had the whole thing, and I'm going, I didn't know any of the songs, really. You know, Tommy dropped off a tape, but I didn't know anything. So,
it seemed to be magic. The funny thing was, I mean, even though he didn't know the songs right away, and we'd been rehearsing the songs for, like, I'd say maybe, 3 weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah, about that.
It was just magic. His voice fit perfect with our sound, and it just came together. First thing, I just looked at Alan, the first thing he sang, and Alan's face just smiled, and that's it.
And there goes the hair.
And I go, get a haircut.
That was Livewire, Mötley Crüe from their brand new album, Too Fast for Love, here in the KLOS Local Music Show. I'm still Benson, and we've been joined by the drummer, Tommy Lee. Well, now that I got all of you here together, your live show is really, there's quite a lot to it. A lot of thought went into that, eh?
A lot. We always try to put a lot of thought into everything. I think that's the key to success in any business, is thinking something out.
When you first started the band up and you were working out these things, and even before you'd found Vince to do the vocals and stuff, had you envisioned a show like you put on now?
Personally, I mean, I've always looked up to bands, visual-wise. Okay, you know, we're not talking musical right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tubes era, when they were doing White Punks on Dope, you know, Broadway mixed with rock and roll.
Really?
And I think that's what we could head for. I'm not saying that's what we will, but we can build our show up, and the music can get better, and everything can get better. You can't just stagnate and stay in one place and play the same music and have the same show and everything forever.
If someone were planning to come down and see you, what would you want them to expect when they got there?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And anything.
And anything.
A lot of energy.
We don't plan things. I mean, we do plan things. I mean, we talked about going into thought, you know, but it's spontaneous. Things Vince does, Tommy does, Mick does. The other night, smashed his guitar into 1,000 pieces. We were just going, what is going on?
Do you have a song you open up with?
Take Me to the Top.
Take Me to the Top?
It's like hold on to your seats because here we come when we get out on stage because it's when the opening music comes on and they're just out there grinding it out, and then I come on a little bit later and just kind of glide. Get all
Glides on
the
stage.
excitement just starts building, and then it just goes boom.
That was Take Me to the Top, Mötley Crüe, and we have them with us here tonight in the KLOS Local Music Show. You've been together about 10 months. When you first got together, you did a demo, didn't you? A 45.
Yeah.
That is when we were first together.
We were first together. I was only in the band a couple days, and I was reading the words while I was recording because I didn't know the words yet to the song, and I was scared to death because I'd never been in the studio before. And
you did that basically just to get someone familiar with what you were doing, to get some
promotion
sense of what's going out.
We had no plans on making a single out of it, as a matter of fact. It was just for demo purposes, and we ended up to the songs on it that we'd played for some people they thought were really, really good, and we thought, well, we might as well press it and use it as a kind of a giveaway to get people to know the band, and it worked real good for us.
Had you planned on cutting an album this soon into things, or did it roll along smoother than you had originally thought?
Things really came together so fast because of Alan. Alan's done so much for us, and I mean, you always want to think something's going to happen this fast. This is like a dream come true for all of us.
Maybe we ought to touch on that then. Al, why don't you step up here? Al's the manager.
I think the guys were together, about a month?
Yeah.
And I flew down from Lake Tahoe, and they were in the studio cutting a demo tape. And I sat there and listened to them. My first reaction when I walked in was, okay. And I sat down and I listened to one song, and it just made up my mind. I thought they were great. And I wanted to be involved with them, and that's how it started.
What did you think when Al first came along and heard you during the recording session? It must have been somewhat of a shock to have someone come in out of the cold and say, God, you guys are great. I think I'm going to help you along a little bit.
It was really great. I didn't think it would... We didn't really understand what was happening at that point because it was a friend of Mick's. Well, it was Mick's roadie, who's Alan's brother-in-law. That's how the whole thing... Long story to make things short. He had told him to come down and just listen to the group, and we didn't really know what Alan's place would be with the group, except for he said he was interested in possibly investing some money in a group to... And we worked on an 8-week basis, and now we're on a forever basis.
Sometimes management sits in the background and keeps track of bookings and whatnot, and gives advice along the way. Is this the kind of management situation that you're into here, or is it more...
No, I consider myself a member of the group, and I've done everything from, anything, any kind of involvement with the group, from photo session, press kits, to getting them McDonald's, to driving Vince to his voice lessons, to taking care of the overdue phone bills, everything. It's just like family. And
There's 5 members of Mötley Crüe.
Yeah. I don't know if that's unusual.